Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing fine, and welcome back to another video. So, for the past month, I've been working at a certain retailer. You might know it as Target. I don't know if I can disclose the actual name, but I'm sure you could figure it out. Probably should have read the contract a little bit better on topics like this. But I wanted to make a quick and short video about some of the things I've noticed or some of the pet peeves I've had working in retail. And first and foremost, I want to say I have gained a much greater respect for those working on the front lines, or especially working at retail. Because back then I was like, oh wow, it's so easy. But there are some complications and some things, idiosyncrasies that I did not know about before working here that I'm glad and I appreciate now. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was some of the pet peeves. First and foremost, I know I said this just like a few seconds ago, but my number one pet peeve is when people don't wear a mask.
Well, finally we meet the end of the road. I've been looking forward to this shit all my fucking life. So, Target, I'm not playing any more fucking games. This shit's fucking over.
There is literally no incentive for you not to wear a mask. You don't even have to pay for the mask when you walk in to a Target. They have it right in the front area, and it's free, so you don't have to buy it. All you have to do is put it on, wear it throughout the store, and take it off once you get into your car. It's a very easy, a very simple process that requires little to no thought. Now, the anti-maskers out there might say, well, I just can't breathe. It's recycling the carbon dioxide. I'm killing myself. Now, I know it might be a little bit hard to adjust to, wearing a mask every now and then, but the goal is honestly to protect everyone, and that is such a big pet peeve, because you're not only endangering yourself, but you're also endangering other people. So that's a minor, I guess, my major pet peeve. Just wear a mask. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Do what you can do to help the numbers decline. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in this sort of gray area for a while while other countries recover. Another thing is, I'll say this more like a story type of scenario, is that I hate it when people just walk in and just stare at me and they don't say anything. I guess they expect me to read their minds. So they're I guess I normally do approach them. But sometimes when I'm backstalking and I go to look back at them and they just stare at me and they don't say anything. For example, I was backstalking, sorry, not backstalking. I was shelving and zoning my area, sort of. And then a customer walks up behind me and doesn't say anything. And they just stare at me. And I turn back and I notice their eyes just beamed at me. And I guess it takes me a few seconds for me to realize it. So I'm like, hello, sir. Can I help you with anything? And he stares at me for a little bit more. A little bit more in time. And he goes, no, very sternly. Sir, what do you want me to do then? I can't help you if you don't want my help. And then he'll just proceed to walk around the aisles, and then they come back later, 10 minutes later, and say, oh, where is this? I was like, dude, you should have just asked me then. And I guess another thing that I find kind of annoying is when people will sort of think that I'm lying to them about what we have in stock, especially during the pandemic now, where big consoles like the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One are out of stock. People will continually go up to me and ask, because I work in electronics, ask me about whether they're in stock or not. And when I tell them no, because obviously they immediately sell out, they are in disbelief and think that I potentially am lying to them. Why would I want to lie to you about what we have in stock? It doesn't benefit me in any way. In fact, it would be better if I sold it, because then I wouldn't have to deal with it. If it's in your hands, it's out of mine. And that's what I like to do. And one more thing that also irritates me is that I will literally be free for about 30 minutes where I literally have nothing to do, so I'll just zone my area, take out all the stuff that doesn't belong there, make sure that everything is correct and looking nice and tidy, and I'll be bored for half an hour. But then all of a sudden, when I go to do something else, when I try to leave my section, all of a sudden, just like a ton of people just come at me at once and ask me like a bunch of questions and ask me to like help them find things. Like, I'm alright with doing my job, but like, where were you in that 30-minute span? Why are there just suddenly like waves coming by? You can come at any point. There's literally no time limit when it comes to electronics. Why is it only in those certain bursts of periods where people just come at once? I don't get it. I guess this will go into my last and final story, is that the customer isn't always right, and it kind of annoys me when they have that, like, entitlement, especially when they come in very angrily. I had this situation happen to me during one of my morning shifts. It was almost as if it was a Karen-like situation. In fact, it may have been a Karen. But the premise, or the story is that I come into my morning shift ready to go for a hard day's work, and this woman comes barging in, very upset, walking very angrily up to the counter, and demands for a new cell phone. I wish I would have gotten this on recording, then I could have been featured in a Moist Critical video. But very angrily, sort of like screams at us. It was very loud, not necessarily a scream or a wail, but she goes, "You've cost me my job." And I'm very confused. My coworkers are confused. We're like, "Lady, we have no idea what you're talking about." And turns out her cell phone that she got was not activated, and she listed the number as her contact, and it wasn't working, so apparently she lost out on her job. First of all, there's other information that you can insert on a job application other than your phone number. I'm sure they could have just emailed you. Also, I didn't set up your phone, so why is it my problem to deal with? I'm not trained for that.
That is not my job.
She then proceeds to say, "Let me talk to your manager." The classic, "let me talk to your manager." So, I let my manager deal with it, and I awkwardly wait there while my manager comes, and then I walk away and continue to stock the shelves. But anyways, this was a short video, some of the pet peeves, some of my thoughts while working in retail. Again, I have a great found respect for those working in retail now that I have sort of insight behind on what's going on in the background, and I appreciate it. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you come back for next time. This video was sponsored by